Welcome, dear listener, to our summary and analysis of Hannibal by Thomas Harris. This book, the third in the series featuring the infamous Dr. Hannibal Lecter, is a gripping exploration of the human psyche, morality, and the blurred lines between good and evil. Before we delve into the story, let's take a moment to appreciate the author, Thomas Harris. Born in 1940 in Mississippi, Harris began his writing career as a reporter for the Associated Press, covering crime and violence. This real-world experience would later provide the gritty, authentic backdrop for his novels. Harris's unique ability to create complex, multidimensional characters has set him apart in the thriller genre. His protagonists are not just heroes, but deeply flawed individuals with their own demons to face. This is most evident in his depiction of Dr. Hannibal Lecter, a character who, despite his monstrous acts, is also charming, intelligent, and strangely likable. Hannibal is a direct sequel to The Silence of the Lambs, picking up several years after the events of that book. The story revolves around two central characters, Dr. Hannibal Lecter, the brilliant yet cannibalistic psychiatrist, and Clarice Starling, the ambitious FBI agent who first crossed paths with Lecter in The Silence of the Lambs. In Hannibal, Lecter has fled the country, living incognito in Italy. Meanwhile, Starling's career has taken a downward turn due to political machinations beyond her control. When a wealthy family seeks Lecter's help in finding their missing heir, the stage is set for a thrilling cat-and-mouse game that spans Europe and tests the boundaries of human depravity. One of the most intriguing aspects of Hannibal is its exploration of morality. Through the characters of Lecter and Starling, Harris examines the concept of right and wrong, challenging the listener to question their own beliefs. Lecter, with his refined tastes and cultured demeanor, often seems more civilized than those hunting him. Yet his actions are undeniably monstrous. Starling, on the other hand, is a dedicated law enforcement officer, yet she grapples with her own demons and struggles to uphold the very laws she's sworn to protect. The relationship between Lecter and Starling is another fascinating element of Hannibal. Over the course of the series, their dynamic shifts from adversaries to reluctant allies, and finally, to something resembling friendship. Yet, this relationship is far from simple, teetering on a knife's edge as each tries to outsmart the other. In conclusion, Hannibal, by Thomas Harris, is a captivating psychological thriller that delves deep into the human psyche. With complex characters, intricate plotting, and thought-provoking themes, it's no wonder this book has become a classic in its genre. So, sit back, relax, and let's embark on this thrilling journey together. Alright, so you've got a broad idea of what Hannibal's by Thomas Harris is about. Let's dive into some details now. Our story revolves around three main characters: FBI Special Agent Clarice Starling, Dr. Hannibal Lecter, and Mason Verger. Each character brings their unique perspective to the narrative, creating a rich tapestry of psychological intrigue. Let's start with Clarice Starling, an ambitious young agent at the FBI Academy in Quantico, Virginia. She's been handpicked by her superior, Jack Crawford, to interview Dr. Hannibal Lecter, a brilliant but extremely dangerous psychiatrist turned serial killer. Clarice is intelligent, determined, and haunted by her past. Orphaned at a young age, she spent most of her life trying to escape the ghosts of her rural West Virginia upbringing. This personal history makes her particularly empathetic towards victims of violence and adds depth to her character throughout the novel. And then we have Dr. Hannibal Lecter, a refined, cultured European who also happens to be a cannibalistic serial killer. He's not just any psychopath, he's a highly educated one with a taste for fine art, literature, and human flesh. His relationship with Clarice is complex, filled with manipulation and power struggles. Despite his monstrous actions, Lecter is strangely charismatic, which makes him even more terrifying. Through him, Harris explores themes of humanity, morality, and the blurred lines between good and evil. Finally, there's Mason Verger, a wealthy pedophile and victim of Lecter. Driven by revenge, he becomes one of the novel's primary antagonists. Mutilated by Lecter during a therapy session, Verger is now confined to a life support system, living as a grotesque caricature of his former self. His pursuit of Lecter serves as a stark contrast to Clarice's efforts to understand him, showcasing the destructive nature of vengeance versus the potential for redemption. Now that we've met our main players, let's briefly outline the plot. Hannibal picks up 7 years after the events of The Silence of the Lambs. Clarice has been working on a case involving a series of grisly murders linked to someone dubbed the Tooth Fairy. With no leads, she turns to the incarcerated Dr. Lecter for help, sparking a deadly game of cat and mouse. Meanwhile, Mason Verger sets his sights on luring Lecter out of hiding, planning to feed him to wild boars as payback for his disfigurement. As these parallel storylines converge, both Clarice and Lecter find themselves drawn into a web of danger, deceit, and dark desires. Hannibal is more than just a thrilling read, it's an exploration of human nature at its most primal and complex. Through its richly developed characters and gripping narrative, Harris invites us to question our own perceptions of right and wrong, sanity and madness. Hannibal, by Thomas Harris, is a novel that delves deep into the human psyche, exploring themes of identity, transformation, and morality. The characters are complex and multidimensional, with their own dark desires and motivations that drive the plot forward. One of the most notable elements of Hannibal is the character of Dr. Rov, Hannibal Lecter himself. Lecter is a brilliant psychiatrist and a sophisticated gentleman, but he also has a dark side. He is a cannibalistic serial killer. What makes Lecter so fascinating is his ability to blend in with society, to appear normal and even charming while hiding his true nature. This raises questions about identity and the masks we wear in our daily lives. Are we truly who we appear to be, or are there hidden aspects of ourselves that we keep concealed? Another major theme in Hannibal is transformation. Many of the characters undergo significant changes throughout the novel, often as a result of their interactions with Lecter. Mason Verger, for example, starts out as a wealthy and powerful man but is transformed into a grotesque, disfigured shell of his former self after an encounter with Lecter. Similarly, Clarice Starling, the novel's protagonist, undergoes a transformation as she becomes more involved in the world of crime and violence. These transformations serve to highlight the fluidity of identity and the ease with which one can be changed. Morality is also a major theme in Hannibal. The novel challenges traditional notions of right and wrong, as characters like Lecter and Verger operate outside of societal norms. This raises questions about the nature of morality and whether it is absolute or relative. Harris invites us to consider whether there are circumstances in which immoral actions can be justified, and whether our own moral compasses are as fixed as we believe them to be. The relationship between Lecter and Starling is another notable element of Hannibal. Their dynamic is complex and multi-layered, with elements of mutual respect, attraction, and competition. This relationship serves to further explore the themes of identity and transformation, as both characters are changed by their interactions with each other. In conclusion, Hannibal is a novel that offers much more than just a thrilling read. It invites us to question our own perceptions of right and wrong, sanity and madness. Through its richly developed characters and gripping narrative, Harris challenges us to confront the darker aspects of human nature and consider the fluidity of identity and morality. This is why people should read Hannibal. Not only is it a captivating story, but it also offers a unique perspective on the complexities of human behavior. Whether you're a fan of psychological thrillers or just looking for a thought-provoking read, Hannibal is definitely worth checking out.